a service-based business that's struggling to grow your Instagram account? Well, in this video, I chat to an Instagram expert on all things content creation for service-based businesses. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Kate Emiley and I'm a brand and content strategist, and I love helping small business owners just like you build their brands online. So in today's video, I'm chatting to Ela from Ela Mazur Creative, and she is a total gun when it comes to Instagram and growing followings for both her own business, but also for her clients' businesses as well. In this chat, we talk about content creation, hashtag strategies, and all things Instagram growth. So if that's what you're needing a little bit more of in your business, then keep watching. Hi Ela, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited to be able to speak to you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So Ela, we connected on Instagram where obviously a lot of great connections happen. And so today I would love you to speak a little bit about your business and how you got started in social media.
Yeah, so I have been running my business for just over a year now, properly full time. I got started, I was studying public relations and marketing, and then while I was studying, I started a fashion label called Ela and Jackson. So while that was all happening, I was doing all the marketing for it, I was doing the social media, and it was just a lot of fun, as a lot of side hustles, hobbies are. It was really a lot of fun, and I was so passionate about it, and I really loved the whole content creation side of things, and I built that up to be quite successful with maybe, it's got about 12,000 followers, but it's been stagnant now for a little while because I've been investing all my time into helping other businesses do the same thing. So when we moved to Adelaide just on 2 years ago, I found a job working in social media, and I worked there for about 6 to 8 months. And then I was getting a lot of inquiries, just freelance inquiries from people, from other businesses. And I was like, you know what? Why not? We've got the freedom to do so. Bart was covering most of our expenses, and he was like, you've got the opportunity, you may as well give it a good crack. So I was very lucky, and it's very scary quitting your full-time job. I think I cried for about 2 weeks, but things start to fall into place. You know, you create a plan and you start putting more feelers out there and people start coming to you. So I'm very lucky that all of my clients have been inbound. So I feel like that's what really pushed me to go full time with it, because people were coming to me, asking me. It wasn't something that I was just starting all of a sudden and nobody was interested. But because it was building up over time, I had enough confidence to be like, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And here we are.
Yeah, awesome. So do you feel like most of your clients are in that fashion space because they know you from Ela and Jackson, or are they sort of a variety?
I've got a variety. I do have quite a few labels that come to me from Ela and Jackson. I meet people at the markets and they always come to me and they want help. I actually attract a lot of sustainable brands because Ela and Jackson is a sustainable brand. So skincare, hair care, apps, health, fitness, anything in that sort of realm, it sort of all ties back to Ela and Jackson. So you've got health, fitness, sustainability, all of that, all of those sorts of elements. So I feel like it's definitely helped a lot.
That's awesome. So you've really found a niche that you like to create content for, and I assume that makes your job a lot easier, being able to have that same sort of voice. But like, do you just do the social media management or do you do strategy work?
I do strategy work and coaching as well. So at the moment, I'm actually just about to launch a coaching program that we've been working on, and that's just because so many people have asked to do the odd coaching session here and there. But if I have something to offer them, that's maybe a couple of weeks where we can dive a lot deeper and give them a lot more value and really educate them and set them up to be able to succeed with their social media, then that would make me really happy as well.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. I think that's such a great idea. And I feel like so many small businesses need a bit of one-on-one hand-holding, but want to still sort of do the main work themselves. Maybe they don't have the budget or things like that. I found coaching is definitely an area that small businesses are going for. So why do you think that service-based businesses need to use Instagram, and what value does it give them?
Well, personally, I'm a service-based business, and it just really allows you to connect with your audience. It allows you to build your brand awareness, get leads, and then convert those people into clients and customers. So you're really educating your audience about everything that you offer and how you can help them, how you can solve their problems. And it's a free platform that anyone can use. So if you're not on there, then you need to get on there.
But how do you think businesses are struggling with, algorithms and finding reach and all that sort of thing? Like, what could they be doing better to, I guess, get further organically without having to pay for sponsorship?
Yeah, definitely. I think it all comes down to understanding your audience, knowing their pain points, and making sure that you're creating content for them so that when they look at your content, they're like, wow, how does she know? She's inside my head. You're answering those questions. So you need to do quite a lot of research before you just post anything. You might have some beautiful photos of your product or from your service-based business, but if you just post them and hope for sales and hope for people to come, then that's not going to happen. You have to really show how your product or service is solving their problems, and that way it will attract more people to you.
Yeah, cool. So that leads perfectly into my next question, which is around what are the common mistakes you see small businesses doing when it comes to Instagram?
I think they're not having a plan, and you can really tell when someone doesn't have a strategy, when their messaging isn't clear. So when they want to say too many things at once, then your audience gets really confused. Then the whole sales process is really confusing, and you want to make it as easy as possible for the audience. They want to be like, oh yeah, she can help me. This is how. This is where I need to click. Easy. You want to make it really quick for them because these days people don't have a lot of time. So if you make it clear and simple, then that's what's going to get you across the line. So I find that that is a big mistake people are making. They're trying to say too many things at once, and it's confusing their customer.
Yeah, cool. So how would you recommend that a small business would actually get people from that piece of content to click through to their website or buy their services or download their freebie or whatever it is?
So once you've created the content, you want to make sure that you are actually engaging with the audience that you want to engage back with you. So you need to go find them as well as them finding you. So you can do that through hashtags, or you can go to networking events, you can look in Facebook groups, and you can just start chatting to other people and really create those relationships. So it's not just about, hi, this is me, buy from me now. You're building a relationship so that they trust you, so that they see you as an expert in your field, and then they'll come and buy from you.
Yeah, cool. Just a side note, I'd love to know, I know a lot of small businesses really struggle, especially in the service-based space, is talking about like creating ideas for content. So how do you create ideas for content for your business, but also for other service-based businesses you work with?
So my number one tip for content creation is to look at the questions that you get asked. And if you get lots of different questions in your DMs or in your comments, or even if you're doing a one-on-one consult, then you can write down that person's pain points. Because if you're doing a consult with someone, that person is your target audience. So if you're finding out all of their pain points and you already know how to solve them because you're doing that with them, then you can create content from all of that. And I would always start your piece of content with that concern, with that problem, and then the solution. So I feel like that is the easiest way to do it. And I do that with all of my clients as well. It's all about researching your target audience and understanding how you can, how your messages can solve their problems. So how can you word all of their different pain points so that they understand you're using their language and getting inside their head.
Yeah, I love that. So how would you create a plan for that content? Like, would you use pain point after pain point after pain point, or would you add different things along the way?
So I would maybe choose a topic and then spread that out over, or like if you have more than one social media channel, if you're doing YouTube as well, if you've got a mailing list, if you've got your Instagram platform, then I would choose a topic, and then you can write multiple different types on multiple pieces of content for all of your different platforms based on that one topic. So you're answering the question, say, for example, if you have a question that comes through a lot about email marketing and you create a YouTube video that's exactly that answer, then every single time somebody sends you a DM, you're like, hey, I've actually got this resource for you. Here you go. And they're like, oh my gosh, how did you know I was even going to ask you that? And then you start building that relationship and that trust. So that probably won't happen straight away, because you're not going to get people asking you questions from 0 followers. But that's when you start to engage with other people, and if you start to do, say, some free consulting, or if you give out some free advice, then you want to find those pain points just by doing that and interacting with your target audience. So a really good example is when I was first starting out, I think I had coffee with one of my ideal clients just to ask them what all of their pain points were with social media. And I would write all of that down, and I would start with that.
I love that. I think that's such a great approach. And yeah, it does take a little bit of effort, but it's really easy to do. It doesn't cost you anything. And you're not just researching what other people are doing. Like you said, you're getting into the head of the ideal customer and working out what those points are. And I think meeting someone for coffee or over the phone or something like that is so much better than sending them an email asking them, what is your pain points? Because they don't really know until they start talking about it.
Exactly. I feel like my best advice is, if you don't put a time aside for research, then you're putting time aside to fail.
Great. I love that. That's a great statement. I would love to know, what are your top 5 tips for growing an Instagram account? Obviously, small businesses want to get more followers, get greater reach, have more engagement. What are the best things they could be doing? What are the easiest things they should be doing right now?
So the easiest thing they can do, number 1, is engage with other accounts, because engagement always equals engagement. So I feel like that's the number 1 thing they can be doing, starting conversations with other people, writing comments on their content, sending them DMs, and just starting to build friendships and relationships. And so that those people will then recommend other people to come to your page. The second thing would be to create really high quality that is targeted towards your audience. So making sure that you're doing the research, not just posting for the sake of posting, but posting with purpose. So I think that is really important. Then resharing other people's content and talking about other people's content, then that's a way of building relationships, and then maybe they'll do it for you as well, and then you'll get some free exposure.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one, because especially small businesses, helping out other small businesses, everyone's so supportive and willing to share and that sort of thing. It's not about, even if it is for someone that is in the same industry as you, it's not necessarily going to affect your brand negatively. It's going to be a positive thing, yeah.
Exactly. A good example of that is, how many hairdressers are there? There's so many, but they all seem to be fully booked, and they all seem to be doing a really good job. So they're not really competing with each other, but that's a good example that I found over the years. Like there's a lot more different service-based industries, like social media, like marketing, email marketing. There's a lot of people popping up, but everyone has their own flair to it. So you put your own authenticity into all of the content that you create. So I think that would be my next tip, is just to stay authentic and true to yourself.
How would you do that? What does authenticity mean?
So I would do that by making sure that you are using your own words. So write something as if you would say it, and write from your experiences. Write examples from your own experiences, so that it's not somebody else's that you've just copied, but they are from your head. That's how you would say it, and really talk about your beliefs, your values. Why have you started this business? It's not because it's not somebody else's beliefs and values. Like, what are yours? Why have you started it? So number 5 would be to have a hashtag plan. So really create a strategy, making sure that you're using hashtags that are actually related to what you're posting about, and like do them based on your location, your service, make them quite specific, and use all 30 because it's a free SEO tool. So you will actually get found by other people when you use hashtags. The guy that's helping me with my flight anxiety, he found my post from over 2 years ago that I said that I had a terrible flight and I used the hashtag like fear of flying or something, and he found me over a year later. So they really, really do work. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, they don't matter, I only use 10, blah, blah, blah. But they actually do work, and they're free SEO tools, so you may as well.
Yeah, I think hashtags are a really interesting one because there's so much conflicting advice out there. I've read blogs where they say only 4 hashtags, and then other blogs are like 30 hashtags, and finding that balance. And do you have like a bit of a formula that you sort of stick to around the number of or how popular the hashtags are that you use?
So because I use Planoly, I'll actually have, say, sets of 10 hashtags saved, all to do with different things that I'm posting about. So if I'm Perth, I'll include Perth ones. If it's something specific to do with Instagram or more social media, YouTube, podcast, I've got all of those really specific ones, and then I'll sort of choose 3 groups of those and put them together so that there's a different group every single time, but they're already there saved for you. So I feel like that's the easiest way to implement your hashtag strategy.
I think that's really, really clever. I actually have done that before and kind of moved away from it, but I think I'm going to go back to it as well because I feel like I've created a few sets and sometimes they're not relevant. So then on the fly, I'm trying to change them. And then that just adds to your time when you're posting, and you don't want posting to take hours and hours at a time. You want it to be a quick thing to do. Yeah.
If you can streamline as much as possible in your business and automate everything, then that creates more time for you to actually work on other elements of your business. So that's good.
Speaking about automation, do you automatically post to Instagram using Planoly, or do you do it manually?
I have it scheduled, so that's all ready to go, and then I'm on my phone as soon as it goes up. So I'm making sure that I'm engaging and making sure that I'm replying to any comments. I'll usually, because it's in the morning, I'm on there anyway, but that way I'm not forgetting that I was supposed to post, but it's all there, planned, ready to go.
So do you have a consistent time that you always post?
It depends where I am. So it's really, you know what, the time difference is really hard because I have such a split audience from over East and in Perth, and I want to post at a time that will get both markets. So that is really hard. But when I'm in Perth, I try to focus mainly on my Perth audience. And when I'm over here, I try to find a balance of when can I get them both. And 2.5 hours difference actually makes a lot of difference.
I know, it's the difference between breakfast and like lunchtime pretty much. Like it's such a big difference. Yeah, I know that feeling for sure.
Usually for me, I'll post in the morning, say Monday to Thursday. And for some reason, Friday afternoons do really, really well, and Sundays.
Sunday afternoon, evening?
Sunday, yeah. I feel like any time on Sunday, like the last few weeks I've been even posting my YouTube video on a Sunday mid-morning, and that's been doing really well as well. So.
Oh, great. Awesome. And just as we go into that, I'd love you to share where you are. You have a YouTube channel, a podcast, Instagram, you're on all the things. So I'd love you to share that info.
So we have a YouTube channel that's just Ela Mazur Creative, and that is all things Instagram tips and tricks and how to do everything you need to know. Then we have a podcast, that's the Influenced Podcast, and that's with my husband Bart. And that's just because he edits all the YouTube videos, but he feels like he has a lot to say. But he doesn't want his face to be on the YouTube video. So this way he gets the best of both worlds, and I think he's doing a really good job. And then, yeah, Instagram, and I've just kicked off my mailing list a few weeks ago properly.
Amazing. Yes, email marketing. Love it. Awesome. Well, all that information is going to be in the description below anyway, so you can click through to any of those things and follow Ella everywhere. She creates amazing content, so I would definitely be jumping on and following her. But thank you so much for coming on, Ella. I really appreciate it. It's been such a valuable chat. I think there's so many tips you've shared. You obviously have a lot of knowledge in this space. And yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, how great is Ella? She is such a wealth of knowledge and shares that knowledge so generously on her Instagram, her YouTube channel, and her podcast. So you're gonna wanna follow all of those platforms. So the links are below in the description. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing, because I do chats like this with industry experts, as well as tutorials, tips, strategies, and all the good stuff about digital marketing and mindset. So if that's something you need a little bit of help with, make sure you subscribe. But I'll be back here next Tuesday with another video I know you're gonna love. So until next time, bye for now.